Good evening, everyone. A couple housekeeping items before we begin tonight. Our team would like to extend gratitude to the Communications and Translations departments for their valuable assistance for tonight's meeting. Displayed on the slide is a QR code. By directing your mobile device's camera towards it, you can access our Redistricting Policy Review portal. Within the Feedback tab, you're invited to provide any further input through the form. Additionally, the presentation is available in various languages under the Supporting Documents tab for your convenience. During tonight's meeting, we will have an open Q&A session. We will answer these questions live after our presentation tonight, so please send your questions through the Q&A chat. My name is Scott Halsey, serving as the Senior GIS Coordinator on the planning team for Prince William County Public Schools. Joining me tonight are Mr. Vern Bach, Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Heather Dietz, Director of Facilities, Dr. Matthew Cartledge, Supervisor of Planning, and Ms. Tanya Allen, Facility Planner Coordinator. Prior to commencing, I would like to turn the mic over to Mr. Bach, our Chief Operating Officer.
Thank you, Scott. I want to just take this opportunity to thank all of our parents who are taking time out of their evening. We know this is a busy time of year with finishing out our school year, but this is an important topic for us as a school division. And we really appreciate the time that you're taking out of this busy time of year to participate and also give us your feedback. Your feedback is a critical component to helping us shape our redistricting policy and regulations. So, Scott, thank you. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Dr. Cartledge and his team, including Scott, for Scott, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Bach. Tonight brings positive news as we gather to initiate a comprehensive review of our school redistricting policy. Regular policy evaluations are crucial, and we do roughly every 5 years. And we've assembled a team of experts to ensure that any revisions align with educational and operational excellence, fostering accessibility to high-quality schools while providing stability for students and families. Through the RFP process, National Demographics Corporation has been chosen to conduct this review. Dr. Jeff Tilton, Dr. Shelley Lapkoff, Dr. Douglas Johnson, and Ms. Christian Parks, boasting over 3 decades of expertise collectively, will guide this process. Tonight, we're privileged to have Dr. Jeff Tilton, a retired deputy superintendent from the esteemed New Jerusalem Elementary School District in California, share insights on behalf of NDC. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Tilton.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. And again, thanks to all those who came last night at the high school for the community forum. Tonight's community forum is to engage the community as part of the Prince William County Public Schools school redistricting, audit, and development. So we're looking at this project, and the scope of it is to update school boundary changes, policy and regulation, and how the policy will govern the process and criteria used in future school redistricting. And perhaps to ease folks, at this point, there are no boundary changes. But as we're looking at updating the school boundary changes, policy and regulations, Prince William County Public Schools boundaries for each school are established by the school board based on the need to provide instructional effectiveness and the health, safety, and the general welfare of all students. And the policy will govern process and criteria. Here, many factors may be considered when establishing school boundaries, including but not limited to projected enrollments, school capacities, transportation distances, future school construction plans, and school demographics. So our agenda for tonight is you're going to have a brief slide on the timeline for this policy review. Then we're going to discuss 3 particular topics: the criteria for school redistricting, the process, and community engagement. And we have some folks who have registered for public comment. And as Mr. Halsey mentioned, there's a Q&A spot. I believe he mentioned that there's a Q&A on part of the webinar. So here's the timeline. We have tonight and last night as part of the public forum, and you can see how the dates line up with the outcome of a presentation or presentations to the school board in September on the findings and the recommended policy and regulations that we've discussed. And again, you're going to see this a few more times. You see the QR code and also the URL for this project's website. So first, we're going to look at criteria, and we're going to look at developing the list of criteria. And here we're looking at the criteria to consider for redistricting. When we're looking at it, we might consider prioritization to resolve conflict among said criteria. We might choose rank order. We might take the criteria and group them into tiers. We might look at the priority and determine it project by project. So we're looking at some common criteria as it relates to priorities. We look at efficient use of facilities, and those are our facilities overcrowded? Are they undercrowded? Are they aging? Are they updated or expanding? And we'll look at the minimized number of students moved. Consider the layers of impact on pupils when moved from one school to another. I mean, they see their school as their home, and we're emotional beings, so that might create a layer of impact that we may not recognize right away. And we want to avoid moving areas that have recently had boundary changes. So uprooting someone again, within a few years, again, could have an impact that we're not looking for. We're also going to look for walkability. Consider perhaps the combination of road connectivity, vehicular traffic exposure, and residential density, rather. Excuse me. We're looking at transportation efficiency. What are the school bus schedules? How will they be impacted? Same with school bus routes or personal traffic routes. Maybe students are being transported by parents or guardian, and the impact of area commuters on those particular roadways. So we're looking at all those, and as it relates to transportation efficiency. And we're looking at keeping neighborhoods together, perhaps. Families can build relationships with other families, building neighborhood cohesion and trust. Families can more easily connect with teachers and contribute as school volunteers and leaders. And more, we're seeing high schools are functioning like community centers, offering opportunities that build the health and well-being of residents nearby. When we're looking at considering student demographics, a secondary goal in school realignment might be attempting to avoid a situation where one school has significantly different economic or other demographic characteristics than another. For example, one secondary goal might be to avoid a situation where all the wealthier neighborhoods go to one school and the more economically worse off students all go to another school. This would be secondary to keeping neighborhoods together. We would not want to divide a neighborhood for purely demographic balancing or anything like that. But sometimes divisions try to ensure the schools in a given region have relatively similar numbers for students on free or reduced lunch programs, or relatively similar programs or numbers of English as second language students. Legally, this has to be a secondary option, or secondary goal rather, but to a limited degree, it can be one option to consider. Excuse me. And then feeder patterns, examples of feeder, or sometimes called clusters and other terms. A student attends an elementary school and then moves to a particular middle school in that zone, which then goes to a particular high school in that zone. So that's an example of a feeder program. And then access to special programs. This would include special education programs, gifted and talented programs, also known as GATE, international programs, perhaps like international baccalaureate programs, dual language, dual immersion programs, etc. And we're looking at process. And these are the area divisions we have looked at so far with National Demographics Corporation, that is, as it relates to this work of school redistricting. Alexandria City, Arlington County, Fairfax County, Loudoun County, Manassas City, Stafford County, and Montgomery County in Maryland. And then you see the QR code there, just in case you missed it the first two times, and then the URL. So these are the typical steps in the initiative process. Division identifies a need, initial scenarios are developed, collect public feedback, revise scenarios, and board consideration for approval. In our research at this point, we found that typically the superintendent advises the board of the need when you're looking at division identifies need. When we're looking at initial scenarios developed, staff develops at least one initial scenario. As we're looking at collecting public feedback, it is staff-led in Montgomery County. It's committee-led in Prince William and Alexandria. And then board-led collections are all the others that we looked at in the area. When we're looking at revising scenarios, Prince William and Alexandria are community-led revisions, while all the others in the area are staff-led revisions. And then the board considers for approval or revision. So here's a table that essentially describes what I was talking about. You're looking at the area division. Is a community used? Prince William County, yes. Alexandria City, yes. But it's a staff and board combo. And then it goes to the public, where the remainder of them, with the exception of Montgomery County, are no. Montgomery County is optional. So here we're going to illustrate advantages of using a committee. It affected parents that understand the local conditions would be ideal in this situation. If groups are all represented, compromise can be a consensus, because then you look at the next bold bullet down, it can be politically expedient. So without consuming time in a public board meeting, or a board meeting rather, we can use the debates to create a consensus. And also, the compromise is not really a bad word. It's something that I may not have been aware of until you brought that up, which leads me to a consensus point. Some of the challenges with using the committee: affected parents may not take a holistic view of the problem. They may have a great view of their neighborhood or their school in their neighborhood, but they may not have a holistic view of the entire division. Some affected areas may not have adequate representation. Excuse me. And if there's a restriction for the number of folks on a committee, some particular areas may be excluded just based on that particular regulation. And volunteer positions, where this says some representatives may not see the process all the way through the end. Well, that's things called life that get in the way sometimes, or burnout is another one. Leadership of a committee could also be a variable in this respect. So that's a reality. We see it often in volunteer positions with communities, and they could be time consuming and staff intensive. It really depends many times on how the committee is moving, the leadership and the direction, the goals, etc. And it could really create staff intensive and time consuming by going with that committee. So we're looking at community engagement strategies. Here we found public meetings, and here we've had two last night, tonight. Focus groups, survey questions. The division's already sent out survey questions, online submission of comments, and that's available through the project website and through that scanning that QR code and the URL. A dedicated website, speaking of, and then also committees. So we ask that you stay connected beyond tonight, and we look forward to the public comments. For those that have signed up for public comments or Q&A later on, you can also supply your questions to the website, and we will get back to you, hopefully in a timely manner. But for those that are going to come up and speak who have already registered, we've also created some questions for you, maybe that you haven't thought about as you prepare to speak tonight as part of this webinar. I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Halsey. Thank you, everyone. And again, great working with you.
Thank you, Dr. Tilton and the NDC team for the insightful presentation. Next, we'll invite the 7 registered speakers to address the floor. Following their contributions, we'll welcome anyone else who wishes to speak tonight. To indicate your desire to speak during this session, kindly utilize the raise hand icon on Zoom. Now I'll pass the floor to Ms. Allen, who will facilitate the introduction of our registered speakers.
Good evening. There are 7 people signed up to share comments with us this evening. Speakers, your name will be called in the order in which you signed up to speak. As your name is called, we will unmute your microphone. At that time, you will have up to 3 minutes to share comments related to the review of the redistricting policy and regulation. If you do not begin speaking audibly when your name is called, we will move on to the next speaker and come back to you at the end. Please adhere to the 3-minute time frame and to the rules of decorum for public meetings. The first speaker is Tiffany Brown.
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you so much for, I don't know if you can read. Okay. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to speak. I just have a couple questions as to how the redistricting would take place. Will we be provided like a list for, especially for like elementary schools on the western side of the Prince William County? Will we be provided like a population list for all of the schools and how unbalanced it appears to be on the western part of the Prince William County? So that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, so through this process, we're not currently going through a redistricting effort. This is just for our policy itself. We're looking to revitalize our policy and make enhancements to our policy and what is most important to parents as pertaining to the policy. And that's why we have our feedback tab open on our portal. As of right now, we're not doing any boundary adjustments. Our next boundary adjustments will not come until the fall of 2024, and that would be for the Woodbridge area school.
Okay, so then my follow-up question would be, is there any review for the western side of the Prince William County section? Like when are we up for any type of scheduling of reviewing the population and trying to balance that out a little bit more? Because you have a lot of schools who are underpopulated versus you have some schools that are recently located where it's overpopulated, and you have neighborhoods that are closer to one elementary school going to an elementary school that's overcrowded. And, so how is that going to be like rezoned or reviewed for?
Yes, as of right now, we do not have anything in the future of redistricting in the western part of Prince William County, but that is something that we will take into account and start looking at the capacities of these schools and possibly better utilize the schools out west.
Awesome.
Ms. Brown,
Thank
this
you
is Dr. Cartledge. I'll hop in on that question as well. Thank you for attending this evening. The topic itself brings up a lot of opportunities to discuss and kind of educate our constituents and our customers about the process. So aside from the school redistricting policy that we're reviewing and updating and working with NDC at this time, we have another standalone process called the Capital Improvement Program. That's an annual process that scopes 5 years into the future, helps us prioritize our school renovations, where we build additions for classrooms, and where we also construct new schools. So to your point, yes, there is an imbalance in some of the Western elementary schools. That will be reviewed in the fall once we update our student enrollment projections as part of that capital improvement program. It'll be at that time that we can provide a data-driven decisions and recommendations for where we might look at doing redistricting once we have a new policy in place after working with NDC. I hope that gives you a little bit of insights to where we're going. We recognize that is on our radar.
Thank you, Tiffany Brown and Dr. Cartledge for your response. The next speaker is Vanessa Hunter. And I don't see Vanessa Hunter in our list of attendees. However, I do see a phone number listed. So if you are on the webinar, if you would raise your hand. So not seeing a raised hand, I'll move on to the next speaker, and that is Kimberly Willman. I also don't see Kimberly Willman listed. If you are on the meeting, please raise your hand. The next speaker is Carrie Compion. Carrie Compion, if you are in the meeting, please raise your hand. The next speaker is Ryan Harmon. Ryan Harmon, please unmute.
There you go. Sorry. Thank you for having this meeting. It's been very informative, and as an engaged parent of a first grader at Haymarket, seeing the current conditions has raised my interest in understanding the redistricting policy. And one of the questions I had is, how authoritative is the policy? Is it general guidance, or once it's implemented, is it something that the board actually has to adhere to? Thank you.
So Dr. Cartledge, if you'd like to respond to that question.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Halsey, and thank you, Ryan, for joining us this evening in this webinar. Another friend from the western part of PWC, and I hear the interest in the impact this could have on elementary attendance areas in your local neighborhood. So there are two parts to the work that NDC has been contracted to assist us with. The first part is to provide recommendations for both the policy and the regulation. So in PWCS, there are two parts that govern the redistricting process. The policy component is what the school board approves and utilizes as their guidance for the process. And in the policy, there is citation of the Code of Virginia that delegates the authority of assigning neighborhoods to particular schools to an elected body called the school board. They're the only entity that has the authority to assign a house to a particular school. So by adhering to that policy, that component is fairly authoritative. Now, the other component that NDC is providing work on is the regulation. The regulation is the component or the process that governs the process that the staff members follow. There are some opportunities for the superintendent to take the regulation and modify a process under her delegated authority. As far as those under the chief operating officer, we would be following the regulation fairly explicitly.
Thank you, Dr. Cartledge, and thank you for your question, Mr. Harmon. The next speaker is Elizabeth Acevedo. If you are in the meeting, please raise your hand. And our next speaker is Gwendolyn Brown. If you are in the meeting, please raise your hand. And seeing no hands raised, that concludes the potential comments from the 7 speakers who signed up for this evening. Thank you for engaging with us and sharing your thoughts and questions on this very important topic. I will turn it back over to Mr. Halsey. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. At this time, we do not have any questions in the Q&A. If you guys do have any questions, we'll take a little moment of a 2-minute pause, and you guys can submit any questions you would like in the Q&A, and we can answer those as well. In the meantime, I will put another plug in for our portal. We do have a feedback tab on our portal, and you can submit any input you would like to our portal, and that will be reviewed by our team and NDC, and they will take all this feedback into consideration when reviewing the policy and making any adjustments to the policy.
Scott, if I can, it's Doug Johnson from NDC. Just while
Yes.
people are typing their questions, I do want to encourage folks. We went through a big list of criteria, and Dr. Tilton went through different criteria and ideas. One of the things we're really looking for is for residents to tell us what are their priorities from those lists. So if folks want to think about it, go to the website and share their thoughts later on. We are encouraging people to just share which of those criteria are their priorities when they like to see emphasized in this.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. So we have gotten a couple questions. The first question is from Adele Jackson. Will whether or not a student has been rezoned before be considered in the policy to avoid the same community being rezoned multiple times? Is that something NDC would like to answer, or is that something what you guys are looking at?
Sure, Shelley or Dr. Lapkoff or
Yeah, I could cover
forget the
that.
formal titles. Dr. Lapkoff or Dr.
You know, when we looked at your neighboring districts, I think virtually everybody had that as criteria. And so it's a very common criteria. And I believe it's in the current Prince William's list as well. So that's the kind of thing we are doing, we're reviewing, is to say, do these criteria still make sense? So if that question implies you would like that to continue to be a criterion, then it would be, that's the kind of thing we'd like to hear you give feedback on in the portal. So yes, it's common criteria. It's probably going to continue, but it's always a good idea if you think that's an important criterion to give us feedback on that.
And as we continue to move forward through the Q&A, if anybody would also like to speak, you can raise your hand at this time and we can unmute your microphone. Our next question was from Ryan Harmon. What questions should parents bring asking to further understand the policy and processes?
I'll take a shot at that one. One of the fascinating things about this field is that while it's very, very complicated and the numbers and the results and balancing the different criteria are difficult and complicated, really the impact and the questions are pretty straightforward, right? Is it better to go, do you think it's better to go to your closest school, or is it better for the kids to stick together through all the grades? Or really, I mean, parents are perfectly positioned. You probably have all the questions in your mind. So the questions asked are not that complicated. They're the things, what are you concerned with? Do you want to not cross the street near you, or do you want to go to the closest, or keep your kids together with their friends? So we do tend to get lost in how complicated the big picture is, but the specifics and the actual talking points are not, hopefully not that complicated, and very common sense.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Our next question in the Q&A. There seems to be overcrowding in the Potomac Shores area while we're adding 3 more trailers. Is this a long-term solution? Will there be considered rezoning in this area in the future? I will go ahead and answer this question. In our capital improvements program currently, we do have a new school slated to open up in 2026, and that is going to help alleviate the overcrowding in that area. We do understand that the Potomac Shores development is booming rather quickly, and our goal is to try to get this school up and going as fast as possible to help alleviate the overcrowding in that area and at Covington Harper specifically.
Matt, if I could, or Scott, if I could jump in there too and just add to that. We are and have moved fairly quickly to expedite that process. Originally, it was slated for 2027, and we've been working very closely with the county through permitting and also with the to acquire the land and work with the developer very closely. This was stalled for a period of time just in negotiations and trying to acquire the land. So we are moving forward as quickly as possible and have expedited this a year. I wish we could get it done sooner, but that's timeline wise with the construction, that's what we're looking at this moment.
Thank you, Mr. Bach. Our next question is from an anonymous attendee. What are we able to do as parents? Just provide feedback. For this process, you guys are able to provide feedback, and I think it will be instrumental for the NDC team to see your feedback and see what is most important to you as parents, as you guys are a big part of this. This is something NDC will take into consideration as they're reviewing the various policies in the surrounding areas and the current PWCS policy.
And Scott, do you want to mention the survey too? It's probably part of that too.
Correct. And we will be implementing the surveys to help guide the new written policy as well. Our next question. Will you ensure equity is a factor when rezoning, also ensuring diversity is upheld?
So I can speak a little bit to that. Absolutely, equity is always a goal with this division. And the way that we look at the diversity and trying to promote diversity, there are some legal constraints. And we have to prioritize neighborhoods, looking at neighborhoods more than just individual demographic characteristics or features. So looking at the diversity of a neighborhood, it can absolutely be legally considered as one of the factors to consider when making school boundary changes.
Thank you, Ms. Parks. Our next question is from Tony Francis. Given the redistricting process for Woodbridge will begin in the fall, what early trends are you seeing with respect to enrollment and staffing? Which aspects of the process do you expect to be of the most importance? For the Woodbridge area.
Yeah, I think Matt's probably positioned pretty well to address that question, Matt.
Yeah, can you repeat that one for me, Mr. Halsey? I was in the Q&A providing some links to the survey. Sorry about that.
Given the redistricting process for Woodbridge will begin in the fall, what early trends are you seeing with respect to enrollment and staffing? Which aspects of the process do you expect to be of the most importance?
Yeah, thanks for that question. And we are excited to welcome our next elementary school to PWCS in the Woodbridge area. The construction's well underway. And if you're not familiar with the geography there, it is the next door neighbor to Fredland Middle School right on the Parkway. So in our enrollment projections, we are seeing division-wide a trend with decreasing enrollment over the next 5 years in grades K through 12. Now, that's not to say that we're going to be experiencing declining enrollment at all of the schools throughout the division. In fact, as we've heard from some of our speakers, we have pockets where enrollment is actually increasing and putting some of our schools that those neighborhoods are assigned to over capacity. If we focus our eyes on the Woodbridge area, we are still seeing, of course, that need for student enrollment and shifting some attendance areas to better balance and offer additional space in that northern Route 1 attendance region. I also want to mention that we're also seeing increases in demand for early childhood pre-K. In our FY 25 through 29 CIP, we are going to be adding additions and expanding our offerings for PK in the form of capital improvement. That's one of the ways that we are attempting to address this increasing demand that we're seeing for PK. But in addition to that, by opening up the Woodbridge Area School in 2025, we will also be able to relieve some of the overcrowding at these surrounding schools so that those elementary schools can also be providing some of their classrooms to meet the demand that we have for PK. When we think about what are we going to prioritize and kind of rank order in terms of the redistricting process, that's the work that we're working on right now, and then we're partnering with NDC. We want to know from our stakeholders, including our parents and guardians, as well as our central office staff experts, our school communities, principals, teachers, what might be the things that we need to be prioritizing to best offer education to our students so that they have thriving futures. From the school planning perspective and kind of the facilities and operations, some of the things that we know we're going to be mindful of are transportation efficiency. We know that there are shortages of bus drivers throughout the nation. PWCS is not immune to that. So we're going to be wanting to provide, expedient and efficient transportation to the students. And additionally, we're going to be looking at the capacity of these facilities. So our student enrollment projections will also be a key prioritized indicator as we govern that process. So I know that was a kind of a long answer and I touched on a variety of different things, but all in all, when it comes down to it, we're going to be partnering with our communities, our school communities, and all of our stakeholders and make a data-driven decision and recommendation to our school board.
Thank you, Dr. Cartledge, for that response. Our next question, will the construction of new high-density housing impact future redistricting? We are zoned for Signal Hill for elementary and Parkside for middle school. Students are on the bus for over 40 minutes to get from our neighborhood to Parkside. Did you say that redistricting happens every 5 years? Our neighborhood has been assigned to Parkside for at least 15 years, and there has been a dramatic population increase in that area. Is this taken into consideration? To answer about if it's taken every 5 years, our policy is reviewed every 5 years is what we first discussed during our presentation tonight. Redistricting happens as an on-needed basis, depending on our capital improvement program, or whether we see if schools are overcrowded and there's other schools that are surrounding the area that do have space to utilize. Parkside is a school that has received additions to help with their overcrowding in recent years, and they just underwent a pretty dramatic renovation as well. When looking at the high density housing, that will be taken into consideration as we do look at all future residential development in our pipeline, and we try to make decisions in our capital improvements program based on that approved development. Would anybody else like to add anything else to this response?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that the district has a very innovative forecasting method that explicitly takes into account something like high density housing that's going to be built. So they're going to forecast that, say within the next 5 years, and they'll take that into account, and then they can see if there's going to be overcrowding, and they can make that's part of the decision-making process. So I wanted to add that. And then does someone want to discuss the Parkside 40-minute bus route? That might be something to also answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry, if you could cue that up, I got disconnected for a second. So, Scott, what was the question about the transportation piece?
Yeah, students are on a bus for over 40 minutes to get from our neighborhood to Parkside. I guess just answering that question for our participant.
Yeah, I appreciate it'd be a little better to know what neighborhood we're speaking of, and it's kind of hard without having that information. One of the things by regulation is we really do try to keep our students' bus rides under an hour. We have some that are closer to that, some that are just a hair over that. We do our best to accommodate that. Now, I will say, hopefully, families were able to attend our 3 virtual webinars that we held just very recently about the improvements that we're making in transportation next year. And some of that was covered during that presentation, but without knowing the specifics of the neighborhood, and it's really hard to answer that. But I can say we really do try our best to keep our bus runs and students on bus runs for under an hour.
Thank you, Mr. Bach. With that being said, if you would like to give us that additional information about your neighborhood on our portal, you can do that and we can help get that question answered for you in more detail at a later time. Our next question, yes, Dr. Lapkoff.
I just wanted to say that sort of illustrates a conflict that sometimes happens. Like one goal is to keep all the elementary kids together as they progress to middle school. And I don't know if this is what's happening with Parkside, but sometimes when you want to keep all the elementary kids together as they move to middle school, it can mean that some kids have a longer bus ride in order to keep that group together. So that's the kind of trade-off that can happen as we're looking at boundaries, because those are two things that I think everybody wants: proximity to the school, but also keeping the kids together as they progress to the next level.
In building on
Dr. Lapkoff. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mr. Halsey.
And with that being said, too, that's more of our medium density housing than our high density housing area, too. So that attendance area is rather larger in size because of the housing density and the capacities at those said schools. Go ahead, Dr. Cartledge.
Thank you. I wanted to kind of follow up to both Dr. Lapkoff and Mr. Halsey on their thoughts on that component. When we have worked on projects where we're opening up new high schools, such as Colgan back in 2016, we did an analysis. I believe Mr. Halsey was very integral to that analysis, where we effectively assigned every neighborhood at the high school level to their most proximate or their closest high school to show that the uneven distribution of students throughout the county. You know, we have some neighborhoods with many high school students, others with very few. If we focus on sending every neighborhood to their closest high school, I believe when we did that analysis, we had some of our high schools in the 60 to 70% utilization of their capacity, you know, far underutilized given the size of the building. Whereas there were other schools that were quite literally over 140% of capacity. So I know Dr. Lapkoff mentioned earlier some of these criteria that we're going to be working with in DC on generating, they're going to be at odds with each other. We can't always prioritize this one most significantly just as a fact of the geography, and then some of these can be kind of in competing or kind of at odds with each other. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Cartledge. Our next question is, how are criteria prioritized and weighted?
I can jump in on that. Dr. Tilton kind of talked about it in his presentation, where that's the goal of this process, is to figure out the best way to prioritize or weight or whatever the different criteria. So right now, the policy has a list of criteria in it that are not weighted or prioritized in any way. But we are looking for your feedback as parents and other constituents in the district for how you think they should be weighted. I think Dr. Tilton talked about a prioritized list, or you could have a tier, a first tier and second tier, or just balance them project by project, whatever is most relevant to the specific area being impacted by the project in question. So right now there isn't an answer to that question. We're asking all of you, what do you think should be the answer for the parents participating in this?
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Our next question, is the panel drafting these policies representative of student and makeup of Prince William County by race, ethnicity, gender, socioeconomic status, etc.?
I'm happy to jump in on this one. So in the kind of the behind the scenes of how we have reached where we are today, one of the early things that we did was kind of scoping this with the senior leadership with Prince William County Schools, brought this project to their awareness, and trying and striving to make a representative panel throughout this process has been on our minds as something that we have paid attention to. For example, we had a very large group of evaluation committee members that were reviewing the various firms' proposals before we even contracted in DC, because some of our senior leaders brought to our attention, and we were already being sensitive to that concept of how impactful policies can be to a variety of groups of students. So I will say that we are doing our diligence to make sure that our individuals who are helping craft this policy are in fact representative, where we have many stakeholders being involved in this process, ranging from the senior leadership teams in Prince William County Schools, the school board members, the superintendent, deputy superintendent. We're also partnering with our central office experts. We're also partnering with our school communities. Like Dr. Tilton mentioned yesterday evening and tonight, we're partnering with our school communities, parents and guardians, so that we can bring as many insights and perspectives to this process as possible, so that it is more robust and more inclusive of those who walk through our halls and are educated in our schools. And I welcome this up, open this up to anyone else on the panel this evening who would like to add to that.
I would just add, ultimately, this policy will be adopted by the board. And so it's the board, which is the ultimate representative of the district, of the division, that will be making that decision.
Thank you, Dr. Cartledge and Dr. Johnson. We were asked to bring the common criteria slide back up, so we have done so for your review. Our next question, is the panel drafting these policies? Oh, that's the one we just did. What specific demographics may be considered, and why will these demographics be considered?
I can hop in on that one. So one of our sources of data when we are working through our redistricting process is to leverage data that were collected when the students were registered for Prince William County Public Schools. We have information about their identified race and ethnicity, so whatever was self-identified at that time. That's one of the demographic variables that we can provide as an indicator of what the attendance at a school might look like based on the identified ethnicities and race of the students who would fall within a proposed attendance area. There are other sources of data that we can use to be mindful about what the attendance might be at a school. Some of those would be involvement in English language learner programs. We also are able to use census data to get a better understanding of what demographics are present in a particular neighborhood. I believe, as Ms. Parks mentioned earlier, and this is an important thing that we need to be mindful of, the demographics is something that we can be mindful of when we are redistricting, but it cannot be the sole reason for assigning a pupil to a particular school. And in working with our division counsel in the past and the legal research that they have performed on our behalf, the current law, and I don't want to get too far out into the legalities of it because I'm not a Juris Doctorate. I just want to make sure that's clear. This is not legal advice. The neighborhood level tends to be the most appropriate level to assign students to a school, not the individual student, but the neighborhood level. We can be mindful of what the characteristics are of those students in a neighborhood, but again, that cannot be the sole reason for assigning a neighborhood or a particular student to a school. NDC, is there anything else that you'd all like to add on to that?
The only thing I would add is that looking at demographics of the neighborhoods and the schools may be more useful when you're already looking at multiple plans for boundary changes and you're trying to compare those plans, and you can see then perhaps how certain demographic features may change under Plan A versus Plan B when compared with the current boundaries. So that's sort of the why, I think, of looking at those data points that Dr. Cartledge mentioned.
Thank you, Ms. Parks. And that maybe the one that I didn't even mention because I think we've touched on earlier, another component of demographics can be the student enrollment projections. So how many students we anticipate to be within a neighborhood in the future. Those are things that as we are trying and striving to balance and optimize the use of our facilities, that'll be a key demographic variable that we would be using as well. Before we go on to the next question, I do see that Ryan Harmon, the hand is raised for Ryan. So if we want to take a break from the Q&A and switch back over to our participants, we can do that.
Thank you. I figured it'd probably be easier if you just ask the question instead of writing it out because it's kind of hard on an iPhone. Again, thank you. The discussions have further my understanding of, well, not my understanding, but how complex this issue is with all the dynamics that go into writing the policy and understanding the data behind that. For those parents, like for those who are at home and want to follow along, how do we get access to some of this criteria that you're using, like the projected enrollments? I know publicly accessible data, like student enrollment reported by the state, maybe some of the not end of year, but close to the end of year data is there, and some of the demographic stuff is there. But how do we get so we further understand those key data elements that are going in to build the criteria? How do we get access to that? Because that will help, at least me, formulate the tiering of the criteria if I have a better understanding of the data set. And in my perspective, just to give you an example, in the West where I live, I can see the 400 clusters of homes going up and seeing its impact on the elementary school that my kid goes to. But then hear that there's 6,000 homes planned for approved to be built in the Brentsville district, and hearing that there's no schools in the budget to be constructed would change how I tier out my criteria in the recommendations I give to you.
I'll jump in real quick and then I'm going to toss it over to Matt. And this is Vern Bach, the Chief Operating Officer. And I think you've asked a great question and you're speaking to the right team. Matt and his team have that data very readily accessible. And I'm really excited that we will be releasing, and Matt, you might be able to give just a quick update on our development impact statement portal that will be going live so that residents can keep up with the developments that are in the pipeline that will be going forward to the Planning Commission for approval. And Ryan, our opportunity as a school division to weigh in on the impacts that those developments have on our division, and whether those developers are offsetting the impact with proffer dollars and contributions to mitigate the impact. So I think all the data that you're referring to, Matt and the team have, it's pretty readily published on our website. And Matt, you can jump in here and provide some additional information for Ryan where he may be able to access some of that data.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bach. So first of all, there are a couple of things that came to my mind, Ryan, when you posed your question. The first one was we have the January 10th, 2024 CIP school board work session recorded. That's available on pwcs.tv. That's one of the places where my team and we were able to share with the school board kind of a broader conversation about student enrollment projections and the trends that we're seeing throughout PWCS and how those trends are in fact impacting our capital improvement program in terms of classroom additions, new schools, how big of a new school we might need, when we might need that school. One of the most namely conversations was about the 14th high school, where our data supported the delay of the school by a couple of years, as well as the reduction of its capacity. It is going to be designed in a way that a second learning wing can be constructed at a later time if trends change in the future. So that's the first element that I would mention. You could definitely look that up. And I'd also encourage you to provide your feedback in our feedback portal and survey so that we can also provide all these links to you. And that would be the easiest way to do it. But if before you don't have time to do that survey, I will mention that I would look up the CIP work session from January 10th. The second, if you Google PWCS facilities publications, that will bring up the facilities department website. And within there's a publications page that will take you to our planning portal that has loads of data in there. It has all of our student enrollment projections, demographics reports, students based on where they attend versus where they're assigned, variety of resources there. Also on that, we will have our current initiatives that we have been working on, one of which would be the CIP. And on there, we have our slide deck and some supporting information that critically shows kind of region by region throughout the county, what are the projected space availabilities for the next 5 years for our elementary schools. So again, there's a load of information out there online already. And if you can fill out our survey, we can most expeditiously get those links to you so you can start perusing those and we can further this conversation about the elementary schools in the West.
Thank you, Dr. Cartledge, Mr. Bach, and Ryan for that question. We do have one more question in the Q&A. As a parent of a rising ninth grader, I am interested in what the short-term timeline and goal for implementing changes in specialty programs to expand availability expansion to as many schools as possible. Tonight, we do not have anybody who is specializing in the specialty programs. We can, if you could give us your contact information, we can get back to you on how the specialty programs could be moving and changing across our county, or you could just put that question in our form on the feedback tab on the portal, and we will answer that question with anything we see fit with that. At this time, we do not have any more open questions. If there's any more questions, please send them our way now, or you can just submit those questions on our portal. We appreciate NDC and all the panelists tonight for helping out with these questions and giving this information to our community. If you guys do not have any more questions, we thank you for coming out tonight, and we look forward to hearing from you on our portal. Everybody have a great night.